Hello, Billy. Hello, Johnny. Hello, oh, no, shit, wrong video. So over in this dark corner of my workshop over here, underneath the wife's wine, I have my sanding discs. Bought them off Amazon a while ago. Haven't really made that much of a dent in them, but I've got everything from 40 down to 400 grit. And today I want to make a nice little unit to put them in on the French cleat wall so that they're out of this dark cupboard, because I also, I've got plans for this. So let's get on with it. Hello everyone, welcome back to An Idiot Aboard. I'm Danny, your idiot, and there's still a shitload of boards everywhere. Everywhere I look there's boards and dust. So, as you'll have just seen from that stupid little clip just now, today we are going to be, or I am anyway, you can watch, I'm going to be making a nice rack for my sanding discs to go on my sander. They're going to go up here along with my sanding pad or sanding disc applicator, just so that they're up out the wall, because I have good things marked for that cabinet later down the road and I want it emptied. It's going to be the first cabinet, I believe, that I'm going to transform into a proper place to put some of my bigger tools. I'm going to mount it on casters and so on, and I think it's going to be the router table, or possibly my drill press, which I haven't shown you guys yet, I don't think. I'll have to have a look at that one. But anyway, sanding discs first, because I've got to empty it, and I may as well tidy while I empty, if that makes sense. Anyway, let's start. So I have 11 different sizes of disc, and they take up just under an inch each. In fact, about 3/4 of an inch in their holder as it speaks at the moment. So I'm going to need a board, or a couple of boards, that are 11 inches. And would you look at that? These are two of the offcuts, 1, 2, from, let's just spin you around quickly so you can't see the mess as much, from when I cut these boards here that I mounted my French cleats on. In the second or third video I did, I can't remember now. It's been a while ago. So they, spin you back round to these, they're going to be the sides of my holder. I'm going to use this at the top and bottom, just cut a length of it to go across as a brace for it. And this I'm going to turn into both the back of the thing and the dividers to divide the different levels or the different grits of sandpaper. That's the plan. Let's see how we get on. So I've been along, I measured inch segments all the way up, marked it with my knife, and then using my square we went across, we lined up the knife with the knife mark and then squared the line across. So now we transfer these over to this board as well, using the same process, and we'll end up with two boards marked with 10 scratch marks in it, creating 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, see, Danny can count, creating 11 spaces that I can then cut grooves in here, cut this to size, slide this in the grooves that I've made to be, or I will make to be the perfect size, and then get it together, including, of course, a base, and then with these on the back, and then I'll see about doing a back as well. I don't know yet, we'll see. Hopefully you can see the grooves in there, and when the boards are lined up together, they are roughly straight. As you've seen before, this is my little cobalt mitre saw, used for cutting nice right angles, or I can change the angle using this. I can swing around to cut across here like that. I can even tilt the blade so I can cut like that. But another useful little feature that this has, if I just take the camera around here, it's going to get a bit blurry and wonky for a minute, but if I flip this down here, I can then pull the blade down, and you see there's a little screw here that'll stop on that, and that will control the depth of cut that the blade will go to. At the moment it's going to go right through. What I want is to create a channel where it doesn't go all the way through. I can accomplish that by lowering this bolt down to the desired depth. So let's see how we get on with that. So I'm going to try and cut a channel the full length of this board to that depth, and I've set it by adjusting that little bolt there down onto that bit of black plastic there, and we'll see how we get on. I'm going to do one cut just to test it and see how it goes, because I've not done one of these trench cuts before. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so this is a very small miter saw. It's only 7.5 inch. It doesn't have a very long capacity there. It only comes out so far and only goes back so far. The problem with these cuts is, of course, when you get to the end, that's the very end of it, and so the saw doesn't cut right at the end. So what I'm going to have to do is put, a bit longer than this piece of course, a piece out here, and then line my cut up again. So I've got a piece there, line the cut up, I said line it anyway, and then I'll be able to go all the way through, and that should work. But I need a longer piece than that so it's more stable. Safety first. Now, not an unexpected issue. I was expecting it to be the case, but of course these aren't wide enough yet because of the size of my blade to accommodate what I want to put in between them, but they're only a smidgen out. So we'll take it back to the miter saw and I'll just nudge it up a tiny little bit, doing each pass as carefully as I can to open up these runs a little bit more, just so that this slides in nicely. We don't want it to be too tight, but tight enough that it slips in, but it can kind of hold itself with friction. I am going to glue it, but you know, the friction fit would help, kind of thing, getting it put together. Okay, so let's get back to it. So here they are, all the grooves cut nicely. Sand them down in a bit. I'm going to cut the back edge of each one so that it's nice and square. That one on this side, because that's the top, that's the front, that's the top, that's the front. These, of course, are the insides. I'm going to just trim this off on my table saw so that I've got a nice clean edge to apply the backer to when I'm ready to put the backing on. Okay, so let's get cracking with that. So here it is. It's not in its finished state. This is the back of it. These will all be back here like this once they're all fitted in. Some of them are a little bit too loose, but I've got to find a backing material now to go over the top of it, then put a French cleat over there, and then get it on the wall, and then put the sandpaper in it. Let's see how we get on. Okay, there it is. Backed it with a little bit of cardboard. It's nice and light. Don't want it to be too heavy. There's the French cleat on the back. There it is. Just stapled the cardboard in a couple of places. Doesn't need to be too tidy. Haven't sanded it down or anything yet because it doesn't matter right now. You know, the sanding and the finishing of these things, that can all be done later. You know, when all of this is done and all of this is reorganized and I've got proper benches, proper cabinets and so on, then I'll start finishing them. But for now, we'll do it, keep it as is. So, more proof that you really are watching an idiot aboard. When I measured to see how big these, I needed a platform I needed for these to fit in comfortably, I measured these with their slight little curve. I thought a little bit of flex in them, I put them in like that. Okay, so I cut these accordingly. However, I shouldn't have measured these little shelves. I should have measured what distance I needed that. Thought about that first before making these. These, great size for them, but the discs don't go in. Let me show you. Turn around, pick one up. They don't fit. Look, they don't fit. Yeah. And to get them in there, forget it. They're just too wide. See? So anyway, what I've decided to do is, instead of throwing it away, waste not, want not, I've taken the little bits of sandpaper for my oscillating saw, which I've just perched up there for a minute. I've put them in there, and I've put all my offcuts and old bits. There's an old toothbrush that I use for hand sanding, little circular inserts. Wrap it around there, can replace that. I've got my old scraps of 60 grit, and we've got some 60 grit, 80 grit, all cheap paper that I've had over the years. 120, I think that's 100 grit there. 120 grit. What a prat. What a bloody prat. I've wasted my time and I've wasted yours. Divvy. Anyway, I'll have more time tomorrow, so I shall probably be sitting and thinking and planning as I, instead of just coming down here and doing, which I love to do, by the way. Yes, that is a balls up. Make no mistake about it. That is a complete and utter cock up. But I don't mind it being a balls up and a complete and utter cock up, because I had fun doing it. Came down here, cut up some wood, whacked in a few screws, used my big tools like a big boy, and just had a bit of fun. Carefully. I was very safe about everything. I've had a few comments about, oh, you're being a bit dangerous with that, Danny. No, I was much more careful today. Don't you worry. But it was fun. And I'm going to have fun tomorrow doing a bigger version of what I've just done with whatever wood I can put together, and making one that does fit my sanding discs. It'll be about the same depth, the same height, a little bit wider, and about the same depth as it sticks out from the wall. But yeah, I don't mind that. It's a cock up, but live and learn. Anyway, we'll catch you later. Thanks. Bye.